Farrell, and today I will be doing a movie review on Spider-Man Homecoming. Alright, so first, they went with the younger Peter Parker. He's like 15, and Tom Holland did good. He actually was believable as to being a high school student. He was a very awkward teenager in that movie, which he's supposed to be. Like, it was more believable that he was a teenager in high school than Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. But, first thing is, he was a little bit more, I want to say, irresponsible. He wasn't following directions from Tony Stark. He was hacked into his suit to take off the training wheels protocol, and he was very clumsy. Like, during that chasing sequence, he was just like slamming through people's like fences and stuff and like knocking things over. And he got bullied more than we've seen in other movies. They were calling him names like Penis Parker or something. But as for Michael Keaton goes, that was a good casting choice. Even though he's played like three characters with wings like Batman, Birdman, and now the Vulture. I think that's kind of funny. But the suit was more believable as to for the other movies in the comics. He made it himself, and like the suits that he made in the previous movies weren't believable as to being that he made it himself. So it made sense that Tony Stark was giving him a suit, because he just thrown it together. He's like a billionaire. And Scindia was in there. She played this girl named Michelle, who we don't know much about. As for the love interest goes, it's very different than what we've seen in the last movies. Because the last movies, the Chasm movies and the Raimi movies, focused a lot on the love interests and what it's like to be in love as a teenager. And they didn't focus on that in this movie at all, which I thought was different than what we've seen. So, yeah. And what else was there? I liked at the end the Iron Spider, I think that was supposed to be the Iron Spider, but he like turned it down because he wanted to be the he wanted to be in the Avengers from all the way from the beginning of the movie, but turned it down at the end. But that was a cool Easter egg. I think it was the Iron Spider's costume, and that reminded me of the Civil War comic book where Peter Parker goes out on stage and unmasks himself to the world. But yeah, that was like, and then Aunt May was a lot younger than the comics. First, it was funny because like in the first movies, she was like really old. Then Sally Field after that, who was younger, and now like Marissa Tomei, she's like 52, I think. So it was very young, and she was kind of attractive for some, I guess. And I thought it was funny the Thai food scene, where he's like talking about larb, and then also Ned, I thought it was a cool thing. But in the comic books, they changed this. The comic books, Ned was, I believe, Miles Morales' best friend from, like the black kid Spider-Man, and I thought they were going to make a movie about him, which would be cool. And as for it connected with Civil War, like in the very first minutes of the movie, it has the vlogging scene from Civil War. It's good that we got to see a little bit more of that. And it's just like typical high school life, except for he's an awkward teenager. He was he's very inexperienced as to, Andrew Garfield was a little more experienced. Tobey Maguire has been there. But, it was also a lighter movie, because the Chasm movies were all, like, dark, kind of like the Nolan movies, which I really liked the Chasm movies. And, as Tom Holland gave us more humor than what we've seen before, Andrew Garfield first started that in the movies. And, I thought this suit was cool, his plot was good, and I wasn't really expecting some of this stuff, like, cause at the end, like, at the end he walked in to this room and he was just like, oh, this is a nice suit, and then his aunt was like, what the, and I'm not gonna curse or anything, she was just like, what the F, and that was pretty funny, and just cut right there. And it was very different. Like I said, it was a different Spider-Man movie as for the MCU. It's cool that they added into the MCU, but I think he's like they're gonna do Infinity War and maybe a Spider-Man Homecoming sequel. But then I've heard he's not gonna be in the MCU for anymore or something. And yeah, it was a pretty good movie. I saw it late on Tuesday night because they had like on they had like $5 movies where I'm from on Tuesday nights. And it was funny, I saw like this, when we got home, it was like late, my uncle came, my dad came, and my brother. And then I was like, what? And then we were walking up this door, and there's like 10 million spiders just hanging out by the door on the webs. It was weird. And so I think I covered everything, so see you later.